Will Nightwing and the rest of the Titans be able to save a friend from her darker half and the world from their own darker animal instincts? Well, let's hop into the pages of Titans Beast World issue number 6. The grand finale of this event series and find out what happens next together, shall we? Alrighty then, so picking up directly from where the last issue left off, we discovered that Dr. Hate was actually none other than the demon half of Raven, who normally remains trapped away in the red crystal on her forehead. I had said in the previous issue that I actually really enjoyed this twist because, well, I didn't see it coming, and that rarely happens to me while reading comics. Some other people, though, felt it was a little out of left field, so I appreciate Tom Taylor this issue going out of his way to say, hey, I actually set this up all the way back in an old issue of Nightwing, wherein the Lords of Hell actively mentioned a missing demon, so hey, there you go. Raven knows this battle with her dark self is going to be hard and also deeply personal. It's because of that she decides to spirit Nightwing away so that he can further try and direct the efforts to save all the people transformed into beasts by the spores. Thankfully, Cyborg was able to buy the team a ton of time by hacking into the American military's drone database and shutting them down before all the beasts could be executed. Furthermore, while she probably wasn't thinking about it at the time, Amanda Waller has actually managed to deliver the Titans exactly the ace in the hole they've been looking for. All the beast people all over the world have been corralled, and because they know the spores actively go out of their way to hunt down the most powerful metahumans in the vicinity, that means the Titans can finally mount a rescue mission by making use of their superpowered friends. John Kent the Superman gets invited to Titan's Tower to test this theory out on Batman. The spore jumps out of Bruce instantly and tries to attack the young Kryptonian, only for John to burn it up, using his new electric blue powers. With Batman back in the fight, they're able to better coordinate with the rest of the former members of the Justice League. The plan is simple: travel the world, coax out the spores, and destroy them where they stand. Nightwing even goes above and beyond the call of duty by trying to get the unnamed president of the United States on his side. Unnamed president is actually super helpful and understanding in this scenario. He hates Waller and knows full well that she's been manipulating this situation to try and gain more political power. But at the same time too, you know, hey, it's an election year and it's not like he can do anything to stand up against a woman who's actively getting results. He even goes out of his way to make sure that Nightwing doesn't unmask in front of him, because the president loves secrets. I mean, just ask him about the MK Ultra experiment sometime. This gambit actually ends up paying off dividends for Nightwing. The president is on the hero's side and actively goes out of his way to try and get the other world leaders to coordinate so their own beast people can be fixed up. In fact, the only ones who are actively fighting against the Titans in this scenario anymore are the likes of Commander Steel and the Bureau of Sovereignty, who are still 100% loyal to Waller and her goals. It seems like this plan is just crazy enough to work, so naturally a wrench has to get thrown into the spanners as we end up transitioning back over to the fight between Raven and Dr. Hate. Also, do we have to keep calling her Dr. Hate, or can we just call her Demon Raven now? Either way, evil Raven thinks that perhaps the best and most ironic death for her good half is to have her be devoured by the same beasts that were created by the man that she loved. Only, here's the thing, when Rachel ends up getting dropped into a massive pack of predators, they actively don't move to attack her at all. The big reveal being, despite having his head blown up, enough of Beast Boy actually still exists inside the spores that theoretically they could probably resurrect him. The only problem is, as we stated before, the Titans are traveling around the world killing the spores at record speed, meaning that the more of them they kill, literally the more of Beast Boy's mind they end up destroying. Hell, Donna Troy got a whole brand new costume built for her, just so she could kill them faster and more effectively. This means the Titans have to absolutely change their plan around and react on the fly, by this time using themselves as bait to actually lure all the remaining spores back to Titan's Tower, so hopefully they can do something about it. Of course, sadly, none of this seems to actually fix the problem of Dr. Hate, that is, of course, until Raven ends up getting some backup in the form of Starfire, who absolutely lets loose on Raven's darker half, blasting the helmet of hate off her head. You know, you really forget how strong Starfire is until she does cool shit like that, and I'm glad the Taylor run on Titans remembers to do stuff like this every so often. The final nail in Hate's coffin, though, is actually delivered by Wally West the Flash, who grabs the helmet and drops it into an active volcano. Hate tries to use her powers to manipulate his mind, only to learn too late that the Flash is actually able to think at supersonic speed too fast to actually brainwash. Raven still desperately wants to finish this fight on her own, though, with her evil half and return her to her prison inside the Red Diamond, so because of that she ends up sending Starfire and Wally back. Remember this, because it will be important later. The spores ultimately do end up combining and congealing together into Beast Boy. The only problem is they've seemingly destroyed too many of the spores. The lights are on, but there's no one home anymore if you catch the drift. This means that the Titans may very well have saved the day, but at what horrible cost? Beast Boy may never be the same again, and worse still, Amanda Waller got away basically scot-free. In fact, she very quickly weaponizes the Titans' own actions against them, saying that attacking the drone network the way they did was tantamount to declaring war on the American government. She says that the heroes' days of stealing liberty away from voting Americans is soon to be over, and that just to really rub some salt in the wound, the Bureau of Sovereignty has claimed the now defunct Hall of Justice as their brand new base of operations. So yeah, for a second there you're probably thinking, geez, what a downer ending to this story. Well, thankfully it's not over just yet, as Cyborg, who has had a number of really amazing ideas throughout this series, has another big-time epiphany. You remember how early on in the story, when Beast Boy became a Starro the Conqueror to try and fight the Necro Star, he lost one of his arms during the battle? Well, funny thing about starfishes is not only can they regrow their limbs, they're actually the only creature we know of so far that can actually regrow its neurons. Meaning that once they find the detached arm in the Sierra Desert, there's surely more than enough biological mass here to get Beast Boy whole again. How can they get a tentacle inside this man? Well, first off, I probably wouldn't Google that question without safe search on, but once again, it's Donna Troy to the rescue. She manages to use her special lasso to inspire all of Garfield's nascent parts to rejoin each other. Naturally, all the different Titans are absolutely over the moon to have their friend return to them, no more so than Raven. Only wait, here's the thing, we never actually did see how Raven's fight with Dr. Hate ended, right? Well, as always, there was a good reason for that, and that's because good Raven lost the fight to evil Raven, who pulled the old switcheroo. Now, as the comic comes to an end, it's good Raven stuck inside the Red Diamond and evil Raven running around tricking all the Titans. Want to see where this goes? Be sure to read the next Tom Taylor Titans book. And so that was Beast World issue number 6, everybody, and I gotta say, as a finale, this one really did end up bringing the whole thing home. I liked Beast World. It was short, sweet, to the point, and actually promises to have some long-lasting repercussions for the rest of the DC universe, both in the main Titans book, which continues to be great, and throughout some of the other books as well. Taylor planted lots of good story seeds, not only in the main event book, but in a bunch of the preludes as well, and he ended up harvesting them all. I really liked Waller being the main villain of this event too. She's always been one of my favorites, but I think this story really helps her get that next level when it comes to being an entire DC universe level threat. She's got unchecked power and authority and a real vendetta against the entire superhero community. Moreover than that, she doesn't have to hide anymore like she did back during her days running Task Force X. Overall, I think I'd feel comfortable giving this one another 8 out of 10. DC Comics is really starting off their year well, and here's hoping all their events can have this same sort of energy moving forward into the rest of 2024.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way, everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.